Marshmallow Fanboy back with another review, this time of two Supermans, Page Puncher Superman with Superman 78 number 1 and Superman Silver Age Superman from McFarlane Toys Digital. These were tough to get. I think the one on the left, the Page Puncher, I did get at the comic store, so I didn't get it online or anything, but the one on the right I had to order the entire wave from McFarlane Toys just to get Superman. Everything was sold out. But he's a super cool Superman. Of course, the Superman 78 on the Christopher Reeve body with all the head sculpt and everything. It's essentially a repaint, but because they have been doing the comic book version of what happened after those movies, it seems extremely appropriate. It's got the comic book shading, which I generally stay away from, but it's the Christopher Reeve body, it's the Christopher Reeve likeness. It's based on Christopher Reeve. It's based on that very first Superman movie. I couldn't resist it. As far as the Silver Age goes, it's just the classic Superman that I've been looking forward to. I feel like we've gotten a lot of Superman figures that have been excellent. A lot of really good Superman figures, but not with that S so prominent, the black outline. Just a gorgeous paint job. The dark red, the light blues, the bright yellows, and the wired cape for both of them. Both figures have the wired cape, it looks like. I had to get it. It's McFarlane is losing the license, I think, next year sometime. So Superman, now is the time to perfect it. And by God, he's given us a couple Supermen in a row that were just amazing. You know, you can forget about all of the other Page Puncher ones, the interpretations of different things, you know, but the classic Superman, you know, by the time that McFarlane has exited, he will have done the definitive. Whether you are kit bashing him at home and coming up with your own great Superman, or you're thinking this Silver Age one is good enough. The spit curl, the wired cape, the great symbol on his chest. It's great from top to bottom. Great artwork on the back. I'm not sure who that is, but of course the card on the inside has the artwork that's on the back. This is a Superman, the Silver Age. Has a cool kind of window here. Has a scan for more information for digital McFarlane Toys. It's very cool. Of course, it says it comes with a comic book, an English language comic book, which is cool. I imagine that this gets sold overseas also. And of course, clear sides. It's the old sort of clamshell packaging for I believe this is a DC Direct, which McFarlane also is doing work for. So it's separate from McFarlane Toys, and it has the cool clamshell packaging, which I hate, by the way. If you're keeping track of my likes and dislikes, I hate the clamshell packaging. It reminds me of the very first Spawn release and all the time it took to get him out of that. Just, you know, you gotta cut along the thing, you gotta watch it to get cut, and bleh. In any case, it does come with Superman 78 number 1, which was the first issue that carries beyond the movie. It was very cool. So these figures look great in their package, but why don't we take them out and get a much closer look? Now that they're out of the package, let's take a closer look, starting with the comic book that Page Puncher Superman came with, which is a reimagining of Krypton's destruction and Brainiac. And what I mean by that is that there's a clear sort of indication in here that from the first start, where Kal-El's parents are sort of experience something weird that makes them think, this is weird, this is kind of odd. I think that Brainiac in the comics, well, I know Brainiac in the comics has the bottle city of Kandor, which is Kryptonian, that he collected before Krypton was destroyed. And in this, he's in the act of doing that, collecting that. But he's collecting other civilizations that have fallen apart and kind of correcting things that he sees as wrong from other civilizations, and collecting those things as well. The Brainiac that we are familiar with from maybe the Superpowers cartoon, the robotic one, there was a really popular, maybe he wasn't popular, he was popular to me, character, but he was the robotic Brainiac, is used as a probe that the real Brainiac, the green guy, sends from world to world to report back on things. And the Superman depicted here is the Christopher Reeve Superman from the films, including sort of the mannerisms, the way he speaks, and of course maintains all of the relationships, and sort of takes you back to 78 when the print media was huge, and you could buy a hot dog for $1 at a street vendor. Try that. Costco still has a $1.50 hot dog, but those are rare exceptions. You're not going to find a $1 hot dog from a vendor in New York. The Silver Age Superman, of course, comes with a stand that says McFarlane Toys Digital. Gives it a little point of difference. He comes with 2 fists. He comes with a sort of gesturing flight hand and another gesturing flight hand. Kind of these are more landing hands, like, oh, I'm coming for a gentle landing hands. And of course, a cool card. He also comes with a digital card that you can exchange for a digital figure, I imagine. That's very cool. Oh, you know what? I swapped the bases. No, I didn't. This one is the digital. Sorry, I'm looking at the other one, the Page Punchers one. I'm going, I just went over the Page Punchers comic. I should be going over the Page Puncher accessories, and I associated with digital for a second. That's the problem with reviewing 2 Supermen, is that you get a little befuddled. I was trying for bedazzled, and then I thought that's not right at all. So this Superman comes with a pointy hand and a kryptonite wielding hand, which is what the Christopher Reeve figure came with. Also, I don't know if that's the crystal that he used. He used a white, clear crystal to build the Fortress of Solitude. I don't know what he's doing with a green crystal and not having a face that's completely contorted in agony or something. But he comes with 1,000 hands. He comes with a pointer hand, the kryptonite hand. He comes with fists. He comes with gesturing hands. He comes with flight hands that are straight, the kind of curved landing hands. He comes with, a holding hand for some reason. I don't know what he'd be holding onto. Maybe a flag with the American flag waving. Maybe he did that in the movie, I think. That'd be very cool. And of course, he comes with the card that depicts him, and I imagine this is Brainiac in the background. Maybe kind of a foreshadowing. This might have been the cover of that comic. No, I have the cover. I have the comic book. Okay, so I don't know what this image is from. It could be from a variant of the book. There, variant. I'll settle for that. I have no idea what it's from. It's very cool though. I like it very much, but it doesn't sort of elicit the Christopher Reeve Superman. It doesn't sort of have the mannerisms. In the book, when he's sort of banking to the right or to the left, he's tilted just a little bit like he is in the movies. It's very cool, but here he's depicted, he might as well just be a comic book Superman. So the Page Puncher Superman doesn't come with a base that says anything. He comes with a wired cape. Has all the articulation that you would expect him to come with. But the details are very cool on him. You can see some of the stuff is sort of darkened in a little bit. Maybe it's washed in a little bit, but like the jaw, and it has a shadow right underneath, and the lips have an outline, kind of a black outline. So it's not just sort of one color like it is with Superman. They didn't just make it pink; they make it They made it detailed. They made sure to get the dimple here. They made sure to get the kind of the wrinkle between his eyes. They got the Christopher Reeve likeness down just pat, and then they just made it as kind of cartoony from the neck down as possible, which isn't a complaint. It's just that, you know, you're getting the comic book version, so you're getting all of the shading, and of course the light is probably hitting him over here somewhere, so you have to pose it, sort of keeping that in mind. So I'm not sure what the proper pose would be. If I were an artist would be like, well, the sun is obviously hitting him, you know, over here, and it's beaming this way. He's got the black outlines on the boots that help define it. That's very cool. A little shading here. The cape is very cool. Think that the cape matches this one. The logo is, I'm going to call that the same. I don't think it's bigger or anything. They're just the same. And that is very cool. And that's not a complaint. It's just, they're the same. I don't have any problem with the similarities between the two. I really like that they repurposed the Christopher Reeve figure. I'm glad that we're getting two Christopher Reeve figures. It's really cool. I get it. There was probably some sculpting on that head, and there were probably some clearances that they had to clear. And then by the time they got to the comic book version, they had already sort of cleared those hurdles, and they'd sort of gone over it. The Silver Age Superman is about what you expect. I think I way overestimated how much I would like the face, because when I see the Christopher Reeve one, I'm like, holy shit, that's awesome. But the jaw, I don't know if that goes all the way under the jaw. I don't know if I could take that head off and just put it over here and just have kind of a Christopher Reeve Superman that sits on this body. Actually, I could do that with the real head maybe and put that on that body and see how that turns out. I'm sure some of you have. I'm sure that's part of the kit bashing, and I just haven't seen it. Of course, the clean yellow belt. You never saw a lot of detail on the belt. All you saw were the colors, the bright sort of primary colors. Except for, of course, that light blue, which is just really nice. But that logo is just striking. It's just classic. It's just incredible. And I know that for some of you, that Max Fleischer one had that definitive logo, that logo that some of you grew up with, and I didn't grow up with that logo. I never had seen the cartoon until maybe I was at a Comic-Con and somebody was selling bootleg tapes or something. So I'd never had that exposure to it. It is super cool. Admittedly, it is super cool. Like, I'm not going to talk smack about it, but it wasn't my Superman. But the Silver Age, I was adjacent, at least, to the Silver Age. So I do connect with it more. And I was there for the very first Superman film, even though I was 4? 77 Star Wars coming out. I was 4. I was 4 when Star Wars came out. I saw Star Wars in the theater. I saw Superman in the theater, and I was just really, really happy. And Superman has been a big part of my life for my entire life. So getting good Superman figures is really cool. And I get it. We've had a lot of Superman figures, and these figures seem very close together, and they were really hard to get. And most McFarlane toys are getting super difficult to get unless you're at the right place at the right time, or you know sort of all the tricks. But for a casual fan, running into these things is a no-go. Or coming in a day late, you're not able to pre-order, you forget about it, and then you aren't really looking around hard, you're not really looking for it, and it just sort of gets away from you. Or more likely, if you're me, you come in a few hours late and then everything is sold out, and everything stays sold out. But McFarlane's been good about putting things back up for sale maybe a couple days later and letting people get more inventory for a few hours before it sells out again. So sometimes you can get lucky that way too. But there's a lot of figures that I just haven't been able to get. But these two, I'm super happy to say that I've got them. And if you can get a hold of them, they're great figures. And if you already have a bunch of Superman figures and you already have Superman figures and you have the Christopher Reeve one, then fair enough, man. You've got enough Supermans. You are good to go. But if you want to get some with wired capes and you want to, head swap a few things, consider getting these. They're awesome. So until next time, enjoy your toys.